Hello again, class. This is my Week 2 discussion forum on the science of selling. Question number 1 was explain the qualitative research that was used in the science of selling frontline video. Now, qualitative research does not focus just on numerical measurements, but instead it's looking for new insights and inner meaning for the business objective. They answered the business objective descriptively, expressively, instead of just plain old numbers. Now what this means is that the data gathered from qualitative business research uses an inductive technique. The outcome of the data gathered are more textual, visual, or oral. We also need to understand the limitation of qualitative research. Because qualitative research answers the business objectives in a descriptive or expressive manner, there is a high likelihood of another researcher performing the same study to have different set of descriptive and expressive outcomes for the same set of business objectives. This is what the texts refer to as subjective results with different conclusions. In the frontline video, Dr. Rapai is the moderator who leads a series of focus groups using different techniques. The sessions are broken up into 3 one-hour sessions. In the first session, Dr. Rapai focuses on the cortex of the group. He wants to build up the group and let them display on how, quote, smart they are. He starts dialoguing with the group using word associations. The question Dr. Rapai proposed to the group is, what words would you use when a person tries to sell you a luxury item? The dialogue Dr. Rapai engages in with the focus group is what our text identifies as a conversation technique. This technique is used to informally gather data on a subject matter. In this case, the subject matter is on luxury. Then at some point, Dr. Rapai moves to a whiteboard session where the focus group starts to respond to the keyword luxury. This stimulus, the keyword luxury, and him writing down the first response of the group is known as free association technique, according to our text. In the second session, Dr. Rapai focuses on emotions of the group. The situation he presents for the group is that they are to tell a story to a 5-year-old kid from another planet. The closest technique I was able to find that our book identifies is the thematic apperception test. Although there are not physical visuals, the group were to imagine a boy from another planet before them and to tell the story of what they would do next talking to the boy. In the third one-hour session, Dr. Rapai clears the room and the group is to sit or lay on the floor. He prepares the atmosphere of a basic dimly lit room where he takes the group to a primal experience in hopes to identify the primal urge of luxury. This is what he calls the reptilian effect, where this hot button is identified to decode the primal urge. I'm not sure what technique this would fall under, but one thing for certain is that the data gathered is qualitative. I would love to hear what feedback or techniques you believe that this would fall under. Question 2 in our discussion for this week asks what secondary data was used or could have been used. Now, secondary data is data previously collected. In the beginning of the video, there was a study on white bread. The researcher asked the respondent a series of yes and no questions regarding white bread. If the data was then published, this would qualify it as secondary data. A company such as Weber or Oral-Wheat could have used this data to cross-validate their own studies. There was also a section in the video where Dr. Rapai talks about the SUV code. During the decoding of the SUV process, he may have used published car sales data, then cross-validate that with published luxury car sale data. He might have asked, or he additionally might have looked into the sales of SUVs in America. The secondary data could have listed top name brands of SUVs sold, along with what options was purchased along with the SUV. The final question for this week's discussion forum is regarding observation approaches used in the video. According to our text, observation is a systematic process of recording behavior patterns in people, objects, and occurrences as they are witnessed. The types listed in our text are visible, hidden, direct, and contrived. I believe there are 3 used in the video. Visible observation is when the observer's presence is known to the subject. In the case of session 1, the focus group was directly interacting with Dr. Rapai during the conversation and free association techniques used to gather data from the group. In session 2, the individuals were to tell a story of an imaginary boy from another planet while Dr. Rapai was directly observing them. The contrived observation Dr. Rapai put in place was the last session where he created an artificial environment for the group to engage in their primal being to discover the luxury code. This concludes my discussion post. I thank you for your time and I look forward to reading your comments. Thanks again. See you next time.